Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 7. Namaste. Hare Krishna. In the last couple of sessions, we have been seeing the introduction to chapter 7. And today, we will be concluding the introduction part. In the first session, we learned about the origin of Bhagavad Gita. And then in the second session, we went through each chapter in a nutshell. Today, we will see the overview of chapter 7. In the last sloka of chapter 6, Krishna concluded by saying, Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam Same Yukta Tamo Mataha, where it says that of all the yogis, the one who is with full faith in Krishna, who always thinks about him, renders transcendental loving service to him, is the topmost yogi. And that process is the topmost process, which is Bhakti Yoga. Since Krishna said, he who meditates on him, upon him alone continuously with bhakti and total involvement is the highest person or yogi among everyone else. Arjuna wanted to immerse himself in such thoughts like that great yogi. But how can he do that when he doesn't know Krishna well? That is his concern. Hence, he is waiting for Krishna to give more instructions about Krishna himself. Of course, Arjuna knows Krishna as his cousin, as his friend. That doesn't mean he does not know Krishna. But what he is asking here is to know the actual truth of Krishna, is nature, the essential nature about him. Say suppose someone inquires, what does an elephant look like? What is an elephant? If I say that elephant is a dark and big animal, one could very well mistake a buffalo to be an elephant, because the buffalo also has dark skin and huge body. To differentiate the elephant from the buffalo, one must give the special attributes of an elephant. Therefore, one has to say, it is a large animal which has flat, big ears. It has a large trunk. The male has 2 tusks. And these are the added attributes to differentiate elephant from a buffalo. If we explain like this, one can identify it through these characteristics. Such attributes provided as a means to know the elephant are termed as lakshanas or swarupa nirupaka dharma. Through this, one can develop some understanding of an elephant. Thereafter, one can proceed to know whether it is a tame or wild animal, what it eats, what language it understands, etc. These are further details. So, it is termed as Nirupita Swarupa Visheshana. We did discuss on these 2 terms in 6.8 part 2. Kindly refer back for more details. So this chapter 7 will explain the swabhava, the essential nature of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, which is called Yadhatmiyam. And chapter 9 speaks about Prabhava, the greatness of Krishna, which is Mahatmyam. Few things we need to learn, understand before we start the first slokam. It is said that Jnanan Mokshaha, one attains liberation through Jnana. Jnana means knowledge. Whereas here, Krishna seems to be saying one attains liberation through bhakti. So is the liberation attained through jnana, knowledge, or is it attained by bhakti? One has to be true. Which one is right? So bhakti is nothing other than jnana. When the jnana is ripened, that is called bhakti. Therefore, one can say moksha through jnana or bhakti. It's one and the same. But jnana without bhakti is useless. Likewise, bhakti without jnana is also useless. Let's understand the sequence here. First, one should know an object, meaning consider any object. One should have an awareness or a knowledge about an object. That is called Vedana, to know. Secondly, after knowing, one must think about that object, which is called Chintana. Thirdly, one should contemplate on that object for an extended period. That is called upasana. When these three things are done in sequence, and finally what one gets is that object called darshana. Here, we are not talking about a material object. We are talking about the Supreme Absolute Truth, Sri Krishna. So Vedana, one should know. After knowing, one should think, chintana, and then that thought should be extended thought without interruption, upasana, and by doing so, one gets the darshana. And this is confirmed also in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Atma va are dristavyah, shrotavyah, mantavyah, nididhyasitavyah. That is, shrotavyah. One should know, hear first. Mantavyah. Then whatever they heard should be thought. Niditya sitavyah. Then one have to contemplate continuously on what they heard, and that will lead them to drastavyah, seeing. So this has been explained in the Upanishad. Whereas in Kato Upanishad, it says that Nayamatma pravachanena labhyah na medhaya na bahuna sutena yam evaishya vrunute tena labhyah tasyaisya atma vivrunute tanum swam. Namaste. Hare Krishna.